So we have been talking about deep learning in the last few sessions, and we have discussed the different components of deep learning. We also have discussed the different types of neural networks, right? Deep learning models, and one of them is pretty much popular one, which is CNN. So I thought, Akhil, let me go ahead and do an implementation of CNN neural network and record a video for you to understand how it is done, right? From the implementation standpoint, right? I am not going to use any low code, no code here because low code, no code, um, they're not so great when it comes to deep learning, right? And specifically the ones which are freeware, which are free in nature, like Nime, um, um, they have their limitations, right? In case if we have to implement low code, no code, maybe we have to explore the different options which we have with AWS or maybe with Google AutoML, right? Or maybe something in Microsoft, right? Um, but at this point in time, just to understand how the neural network works, I think a platform can be a good choice. I'll make sure that I'm not going too much into the details of the technology part, the implementation part, or the technical coding part, right? I'll just make sure that it is being discussed at the conceptual level, so it is easy for you to understand and relate. So let me quickly share my screen and take you through one of the examples that I have created. Okay. All right. So this is a simple program written in Python. This is how the Python IDE looks like. And there are different IDEs which are available. IDE means that it is an integrated development environment, right? This is provided by Jupyter. There are one which are provided by Microsoft, and then there are many vendors. So if you look at this particular file out here, this is a code where we are developing the CNN model, right? Quickly, here there are the different libraries which we are trying to pull in. So the definition of a CNN model has been defined in Keras. This is one of the prominent library in Python, right? And this is how the Python code looks like, right? So once we have um, um, uh, imported all the libraries into the program, just like we drag and drop the different modules in Nine, right? So this is the basic step, the first step, right? Then we go into building the CNN network. So here we are calling it out that, okay, this is the CNN network that we are going to create, which is going to be a classifier one. Classifier here means that it's a sequential one. It means that the layers that we are going to create are going to be one by one, right? It is you can also create a graphical kind of layers where not necessarily the each layer will be sequential one. Right? So here we are creating a sequential network, and this is a place where we are creating different layers. So if you can recall, we had input layer, we had the output layer, and there are in between there are multiple hidden layers, right? And every hidden layer will have some purpose behind it. So maybe one of the hidden layer will extract some kind of patterns. Maybe it will identify, in case if we are it's an image of an animal, it will identify what is the overall shape, uh, ears, legs, and so on, right? So this is the first layer that we are creating, right? And this is the second layer. We are trying to whatever we have extracted, right? We are trying to make sure that the only the key items, the key features which have been extracted are retained. The rest of them are getting discarded. And then we are again creating a few more layers wherein we are trying to extract more and more information. And finally, once it is done, uh, we are actually taking a decision. We are passing the information in terms of whether whatever the output of the model is going to be. So, and this is a very simple uh, representation of how CNN works. So what I have done, I have picked up some sample images of cats and dogs, right? And have now I'm trying to train this model, which I have the neural network which I have created. So here, what I'm doing, I'm actually there are some, as I said, there are some cats and dogs images which I have gathered. So I'm actually loading them. Once I have loaded them into different objects, I'm passing them through this network which I have created. The name of the network was classifier. You may recall in the first line we had called it out. Classifier is equal to sequential. So here we are passing all these images, right? And this is how the model is getting trained. Right? And there will be number of iterations that will happen. Each image will go through multiple rounds and so on. So this is quite an extensive exercise. I mean, the kind of step that we have in the entire program. And once the model is created, what we are doing, we are saving it, right? And when we are saving it, we are calling it as a by name. So in when we are going to test this model, we are going to load this model which has been created by calling this name, right? So that's why we are saving it. Now let me take you to how it is being called. So this is the calling procedure, right? You can assume that you have built a model, and from your standpoint, the organization has got its own operational pipeline where the data is flowing in, right? Now, assuming that a new image comes into the picture, right? Now, this model which we have saved, right? That model will be called, right? This image will be passed through that, and the model will call out whether what is this animal, right? It will try to recognize it based on the different patterns, right? So here, what we are doing again, we are bringing some libraries into play. We are loading this model which we have created in the previous file. Then we are passing an image, and we are expecting the model to let us know what is this image. And based on certain parameters, it is identifying whether it's what this image is. So it's identifying that okay, this is the image that has been passed, and it's the prediction, it's the dog. So this has been done by the program. Now let me quickly take you to the data set that we have. And here, if you look at it, the data set has been divided into two parts. One is training, and another is test. And this is something which we have been discussing, that the data that we gather to train a model, right? It needs to be divided into two parts: train, where the training will take place, and test, again it will be validated. So here in the training set, we have got different images of cats, right? We have got 7 different images which is very minimum, bare minimum, and we have got some 8 images of dogs. So these are not, the sample size is pretty small. The model is going to be okayish, not necessarily great, and actually it can be actually very poor as well. It can go onto the poor side, because we need to have more and more data to make sure that the model that we are building is of high quality. Nevertheless, let's look into the test data as well. Uh, so for the test, we have got some more images of cats and dogs. And now let me take you to the sample one, wherein I am trying to test with a new image once the model has been created, uh, and the model has been saved. So I'm calling this image and passing it to the model that has been developed by me. So if you can see that this image, the image that we have, it is kind of, we are trying to recreate by passing it through the CNN network, right? Not everything it's not a replica, right? We are trying to recreate it, and some part of the information is lost because not everything is important, right? Ideally, a few more features should have actually this model should have let it go, but since it's in the in the stage where it is learning, and also the data set is very limited. So that's why there are some features which are not required, but it is still being fetched. So this is how the model typically works. And again, it's a very simple representation. In real time, there will be many more hidden layers that you may have to create. The data size will be huge. The fine tuning will take a lot of time, right? There are other parameters that you probably have to play around. And then finally, uh, the uh, the the accuracy, the maturity also needs to be measured. Once it is done, then only you will go ahead and deploy it into the production pipeline. And the production pipeline is going to work like the sample that we showed, wherein a new image actually has been pushed into the model, and the model is predicting the output. Right. So this is, again, as I said, it is a very simple representation, and the idea was that, okay, how to help you understand that how a particular neural network works, right? So with this, I think in case if you have any questions, you have any doubts, you can share in the WhatsApp channel, right? Or you can bring up in any of the sessions. Thank you so much.